Me now is New York Congressman Mike Lawler. Congressman, thanks so much for joining to us. It does seem to me like politically Chuck Schumer is just sort of a dead man walking. He doesn't seem to have control of his caucus, his supporters, the public on either side of the aisle. I don't know who his base is, but boy, he is in trouble, is he not?
No question about it, Jason. After 50 years in elected office, Chuck Schumer's days are numbered. He will not run for re-election, mark my words on that, because if he does, he's going to lose a Democratic primary. The question remaining really is whether or not he can hold on to being leader of the Senate Democrats into the next Congress. He is completely incompetent. He drove the American people into a 43-day shutdown with no plan to get out of it. And got absolutely nothing for it. He created chaos and havoc and inflicted pain on the American people, especially those who rely on critical programs like SNAP and WIC, and ensured that our troops, our Border Patrol agents, and our air traffic controllers didn't get paid and couldn't provide for their families. It was disgraceful. It was unbecoming. And as far as I'm concerned, he should leave office in disgrace immediately.
Well, it's not just AOC or Republicans that are questioning Schumer. It's his own colleagues in the Senate. Chris Murphy of Connecticut's pretty far out there to the left. Listen to what he had to say.
We've got to have a hard conversation as a caucus about what we all need to do, what kind of leadership we need in order to make sure that we don't continue to break apart. That means we need more effective leadership.
Of course, I don't hear many solutions from any of those people other than it left to their own device. They would have kept the government shut down even longer. That was their solution.
No question. They voted 15 times to keep the government shut down. At the end of the day, the problem they have is not necessarily their leadership. It's their approach. It's their strategy. This is entirely driven by Trump derangement syndrome. And a hatred of the president. They hate the president more than they care about the American people. And that's why they drove us into a 43-day shutdown. Fortunately, there were enough common sense Democrats like John Fetterman who voted to reopen the government, and we were able to pass it in the House and get back to work. But you know, this is really the challenge the Democrats have. They've allowed their party to be taken over by AOC, Bernie Sanders, and Zohran Mamdani, and they're crumbling under the weight of it.
Well, their fundamental problem is Donald Trump is highly effective, and number two, they don't have any policies that resonate with the American people. Donald Trump's out there, the president, talking about common sense, and they're out there talking about, you know, hey, we got to run the grocery stores around here. Congressman Lawler, really do appreciate you joining us tonight.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.